Hey there, Munchie Mafia. Happy St. Patrick's Day. No, I'm not wearing green because I really don't have a lot of things in my wardrobe that are green. So let's first talk about some things. Um, there's two different parts to a brisket. There's the point and the flat. And you could be a flat person or you could be a point person, or if you don't really know too much about corned beef, how you just got to pick something. So I buy mine through Costco, or through a different store that actually carries the St. Helens brand, which I really like a lot. But the one at Costco is really nice, as it's not as fatty. The cheaper that they are, the probably the worse that they are. The points are generally the ones that are in the bargain bins. Um, so this one's the flat, and it's nice and trimmed up. There's not a lot of silver skin. This one's been rinsed off because once when you open up the package, you want to rinse it off. This one has just a little tiny smidge of silver skin, so we're just gonna tidy that up a little bit. And the way that you would do that is to just take a fillet knife and just guide it in underneath that silver skin and zip, just like so. Um, not a lot. Sometimes you have to do a lot of cleanup, depending on you know where you've purchased it. Um, and if you miss some, you miss some. It's not that horrible, but I like to have mine trimmed up as much as humanly possible. Now, one of the things that you do not want to do is you do not want to take off the fat cap on it, because that's where all the money is. So yeah, yeah, you just let your knife be your guide. Normally, I'm a lot better. Forgetting to give them a quick once over. Okay, so now this is all nice and trimmed up. Now, as far as the fat, you want to leave about that much of fat. You don't want it to be totally taken off. Um, and what we're going to do is we're going to just there's several ways to cook it. You can put it into a smoker, low and slow, or you can put it into a pot of water and boil the hell out of it, or you could just roast it low and slow in the oven. I was going to use the smoker on this bad boy. This is a nice, beautiful piece. It's got, it's not horribly lean, but it's also, got some good fat content, and it's got that beautiful. Yeah, it all depends on how you like to have your corned beef cooked. Um, I wanted to do the smoker, but then realized that's going to be a pain in the ass having to record and then come back in the house and then record and then come back into the house again and record and yada yada. Now, these things come with a little packet of seasonings. You can do with it as you please. A lot of people just toss them out because they think it's junk. Some people add it to it. What I do is I will use it if I'm boiling, and I usually just boil the points. But when I have these beautiful, beautiful flats, I like to just give them a good roast. This is going to take several hours, so um, we're going to pre-cook this and then come back to it later on during a live. I like to just lightly or just loosely tent. It's on top of a little rack, and then we're going to just pop that right into the oven. This oven is set to 400 degrees. I like to give it a good shock the first hour, and then reduce the temperature. Um, I can't remember who asked for corned beef and cabbage, but I sincerely hope it wasn't a how do you actually make the brine and stuff like that. Which if you guys are really interested in learning how to do that with a whole brisket, um, we can definitely look into that in the future. This is one of my favorite cookbooks. Corned beef is actually listed on pages 50 or no 65 and 66. It's Charcuterie: The Craft of Salting, Smoking, and Curing by Michael Ruhlman and Brian Paulson. It's a great book if you are into looking into doing these sort of things for charcuteries and whatnot. This is a great, great, great book. Very easy to read, not too pretentious. Just freaking awesome book. It's one of my top 10 favorite books of all time, um, along with my two little black books, The Joy of Cooking, of course, Flavor Bible, Professional Chef. I got a couple other little ones, and then there's the Flavor Matrix. Um, so going with that, we're going to do a beer braised cabbage. So we're going to want to cut the cabbage in half, cut the cabbage into quarters, and get rid of this thing here, core. I don't know many people that like the core, unless of course you have livestock that likes to chew on things, or even guinea pigs or hamsters. Some kind of animal that eats greenery, rabbits. And then of course, again, this is kind of a slick side, but it also has a lot of texture to it from all the veins in it. So you can do it this way, or you could do it this way, but I prefer to do it or cut this way because that way at least my knife won't slip and I'm not going to cut my finger. You always want to make sure that you're using a claw method, holding your food down. That way, as long as you don't lift your knife up too high, you're not going to cut your fingers. Cooking is supposed to be a really, really, really fun time where you're feeding your family, you're feeding your friends, you're having time of your life. I mean, when when you have friends coming over, where do they usually congregate at some point in the evening? In the kitchen. The kitchen's always been the heart of the home because that's where everybody goes. That's where they find their comfort. Um, because food is supposed to bring people together, not be divisive, unless of course you're one of those militant vegans that's like, oh, you can't do this, you can't, you're eating animals. You know what? It's like, live your life. Let me live my life. We can coexist. Just don't shove your agenda down my throat. Or vegetarians. I used to be a vegetarian. Um, actually a pescatarian. But it's the ones that have to shove their agenda down your throat that really is off-putting to me, to the point where I'm like, just you know what, we're never going to be friends. If I cannot have my point of view and you cannot have your point of view and we cannot coexist peacefully, then we've got nothing to say to one another. So here we go. um I love meat. um I love seafood. I love food. I just love, I mean, food is great. As my dad used to say, if all of the world's leaders could get together at one table and enjoy, just a wonderful meal that conforms to all of their likes and um, practices, um, there would be no war for the day, you know. And maybe they might come away from that table with a better understanding of how these other leaders really are, and maybe there would be more peace, less suffering in the world. Okay, so there's that. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to do carrots or not, but um, you want carrots? Yes, I'm doing braised cabbage. Yeah, you know what? I'm not really all. Here's that little packet thing. That thing's got a whole bunch of stuff in it, mostly pickling spice and bay leaf and so on and so forth. And some people like it, some people don't. But we're actually going to use this in the cabbage, not on the corned beef. Um, so and then we're going to hit it with some butter, and that's about that. So um, now that we've got that going in the oven, I'm going to run off to the store, and we'll see you in a little bit.